Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Neighbors in the Elm City are on alert tonight after valuable items were stolen from their vehicles. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Now police are telling us dozens of vehicles were broken into over the weekend. Fox 61's Kayla Cade tells us what police are doing to keep the city safe.
New Haven police say the rash of break-ins happened in the area of Hill North and Hill South districts in New Haven from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. And because of this surge in crime, police are stepping up their motor vehicle theft detail during those times. When some people in New Haven's Hill neighborhood walked to their cars on Saturday and Sunday, they noticed something was different. Items were missing from it, or their car was vandalized. Chief Carl Jacobson says 30 car break-ins were reported on multiple roads over the weekend, including Howard Avenue, Spring Street, and Arch Street.
So it looks like they targeted that area.
3 years ago, Leonard Jihad with Connecticut Violence Intervention and Prevention had a similar experience.
They did take my car charger, and they went through the glove compartment. But no damage was done by the car.
He left his Mazda unlocked and had money stashed inside a compartment.
People said, well, they shouldn't have left things in the car, but, I was coming from the gym, I left money in there, and I forgot to get it back out. I didn't report, I was just happy to get my money, that they didn't take the money.
With the recent incidents, Chief Jacobson believes this was the act of male teenagers. And police are focusing on curbing this kind of crime with a larger presence in the Hill neighborhood and throughout the city.
It's because we know that activity moves around the city. And we also have our RTC analysts looking through camera footage over the last few days and weeks.
Jihad says another solution to keeping the area safe is something that his neighbor told him. Call the police.
It's not just for data, just for increased presence, in that neighborhood. Because again, if they see a lot of cars and the car doors are unlocked, they think it's easy, they're going to come back to their neighborhood again.
He says parents should also know about their child's whereabouts because sometimes they may be at someone else's house and use that opportunity to get into some trouble.
So a check-in, with that parent or with the other parent, that family member, can often stop that. But parents often don't communicate also.
New Haven police encourages neighbors to stay vigilant. If you see something, say something. The police department is also in the process of establishing neighborhood watches in the Hill neighborhood. If you are interested in signing up, visit fox61.com for more information. In New Haven, Kayla Cade, Fox 61 News.
All right, Kayla, thank you. And coming up at 10:30 tonight, the crime report for 2024 has just been released for the city of New Haven. We'll have a full breakdown of those findings later this hour.
Turning to the weather now, it is cold, it is windy, and now we're looking at the chance for even some snow.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast tonight. Rach?
A lot of winter lovers are ready for some snow, and if it's going to be this cold, it might as well. But so far, it's just been mainly cold and dry, right? And that's going to be this trend as we head through the next couple of days. There is a chance for a little bit of snow on Saturday, but right now, we're thinking this is not going to be a high-impact event, and we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. For now, though, we're taking a look at winds that are gusting as high as 30 miles an hour. Those winds are going to slowly diminish overnight, but I think they pick right back up again as we head through the day tomorrow. So a wind advisory is in effect just for northern Litchfield County right now with gusts that could get over 40 miles an hour, and there's a chance for some isolated outages there. Elsewhere, we are not concerned about outages, but the wind is certainly adding an extra chill to the air. Temperatures right now are in the 20s to right around 30 degrees. And that's making it feel like the single digits and teens for most of the state. And I think most of the state will feel like near zero as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Overnight lows between 15 to right around 20 degrees. We'll do today all over again tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, but blustery and cold. We could see gusts up to 30 to 40 miles an hour, and we'll see high temperatures in the 20s as we head through the afternoon. Very similar weather on Thursday, and then we're watching the chance for some snow on Saturday. We'll take a look at the latest trends that are coming into the Weather Center coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, good news tonight for some tenants in Hartford who've been displaced for months.
An electrical fire left more than 100 tenants of the Concord Hills apartments displaced, and now some of them are now being allowed back into the complex.
Yeah, Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot has been following the story. She joins us here in studio with those details. Kay.
The temporary housing for these tenants ends on January 10th, which is Friday. The tenants tell me Gray Hill, the managers of the Concord Hills apartments, have been reaching out to them this week with units available. Tenants say it's about time.
It feels good. I'm excited. I can't wait to move into my place after all these months.
And it's not just Marisol Navarro who's going back home. Last month, we got a look inside Dave Richardson's temporary home in the Candlewood Suites. He, along with Destiny Rivera and Myra, are all going back home. Something they say is what they wanted from August.
We, the tenants, fought all the way from the start to the end. Even though it looked like we weren't gaining any ground, at one time it was despairing, just frustrating. But then we still bonded together and steadfast, and now we're here at the end of the tunnel. We're heading back home.
The vice president of the tenants union said 5 families could still face homelessness if they are not granted an extension past Friday.
Some folks have really devastatingly also lost employment during the same period of housing loss, which is kind of trauma on trauma. Another is folks who have disability or Social Security income but just have really struggled to find anything where they make 3 times the rent.
Harrison said it's barriers like these where he would like to see the city step up. The city has consistently communicated that it cannot provide indefinite accommodations, but that we will continue our vigorous efforts to support impacted tenants through relocation services to secure permanent housing. Tenants who have found housing or are going back to Concord Hills won't stop fighting until everyone is housed.
The fight stays on until everyone is in their apartment or in an apartment and being comfortable and not have to worry about being homeless.
We become a family. Like I've said before in past interviews, we're a community, and we're all sticking together and we're helping each other. And even though I got placed, and most of us got placed, we're still working to get everyone into a home. I mean, it's really cold, and it's been a long 5 months.
The tenants that are moving back to Concord Hills are picking up their keys this week. In studio, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61 News.
All right, Kay, thank you. Well, John Egan, a former city official accused in a hit and run, is facing a prison sentence tonight.
Fox 61's Jamel Johnson has more on his sentence from Waterbury Superior Court.
Now, guys, it was an emotional day in court as Brian Kaya and his family sat while a judge sentenced John Egan. Now, police say John Egan, who was the former chair of the city zoning commission, actually went out and got about 16 drinks from different bars in the area. And then that was over the course of a 10-hour period. And then he made the decision to get on the road and drive, a decision that will put his life at risk as well as Brian's.
He was only 17 years of age.
Nearly 2 years after a hit and run nearly killed him, Brian Kaye watched from his wheelchair with his family by his side as a judge sentenced the man police say was behind the wheel.
It also hurts me that this man has to go to jail, but he left my son abandoned in the street.
Egan's alleged actions back in May of 2023 would leave the 17-year-old on life support for several months. His road to recovery has not been easy.
We have to care for my son 24 hours a day in order to be able to help him.
Para levantarlo, para bañarlo, para darle de comer.
Egan pleaded no contest to the charges against him, which left his fate in the hands of a judge.
The defendant here, Mr. Egan, took a plea.
It's a disturbing turn of events for a former city government official.
The defendant sustained a brain bleed, multiple skull fractures, a subdural hematoma, liver lacerations, and various contusions. He'll need 24/7 care for the rest of his life. And according to the complainant's family, their statement in the PSI, quote, "It's almost worse than death. And it's caused a serious emotional toll on their family."
With the evidence presented against him, Egan and his team attempted to bring to light his important role in the community and all the people he has helped. They wanted to make it clear that the mistake he made was an isolated incident. Facing the possibility of leaving the courtroom in handcuffs, Egan's attorney argued for a fully suspended sentence and house arrest term along with community service. But despite their best efforts, the judge ruled in favor of jail time.
I do think a jail sentence is appropriate as far as a punishment. Having said all of that, the It's a sentence of this court, you'd be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for 10 years, suspended after 2 years in jail, 5 years probation, 100 hours of community service, and no contact with the complainant or his family.
The Kaye family was asked what their thoughts were on the sentencing.
He says that the moment just being here and having his child, who once was believed to not make it, and him being present, he's already at peace.
Now, Brian himself has been making significant improvements in his recovery, and Segundo, his father, said that he hopes the next time he speaks to media, his son will be able to walk. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61 News.